What's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for clicking on this video. Wanted to do a quick little check-in vlog and say hi and hope everybody is doing well. As you can see by the title, my family is just getting over the worst experience ever. So, Saturday, we went, Jeremy grabbed Wendy's for dinner. I didn't feel like cooking. And he grabbed that. I had, basically, me and Jeremy had burgers and fries, and the kids had chicken nuggets and fries. And, it didn't taste funny or anything like that. And, we had dinner, watched a little TV, cooled out, and then got ready for bed. And then Deuce had fell asleep on the couch, which is not abnormal or anything for, a Saturday, because he usually, watches TV a little late. So he fell asleep. So then I'm laying in the bed relaxing at this point. Janelle has already gone to bed. And he comes and lays in the bed with me. Like, not even 5 seconds later, he throws up all in our bed. I'm like, okay, here we go. So I'm thinking maybe, something just didn't sit right in his stomach. And that he's not feeling good. And then, he got it out. Now he's good to go. So I got up. Jeremy was in the basement. Because at this point, it wasn't super late. So he was in the basement watching TV. I called him upstairs. And, he stripped the bed and, got everything cleaned up. And then I put Deuce in the tub, got him all cleaned up, washed up, new pajamas and all of that stuff. And then put him to bed, back to bed, but this time in his bed. So got that done. Honestly, not even 10 minutes later, after putting him in his bed, he throws up in his bed. I'm like, okay, maybe he just, needed to get the rest of it out. It's fine. So, strip his bed. Once again, have to put him back in the tub because of where it's at and all of that stuff. And, and then hope that, we're done with it. He kept going and going and going and going and going. So it was at one point where I'm like, he's vomiting so much, there's got to be like no more available fluid in his body. And we were going to take him to the emergency room. And I had called Veronica and asked her, could she keep Janelle, because Janelle was perfectly fine. She was sleeping, passed out, that whole time. And I was going to, we were going to take him to the emergency room because we figured at this point he needed some type of fluids. So I'm getting him dressed and all of that stuff. And then he kind of calmed down a little bit. So I told Veronica, okay, I'm going to wait and not take him. And then if anything changes, I, will call her and let her know. So maybe like, again, not even 10 minutes later, he has another one of these spells. And he's throwing up. I'm like, okay, this is it. We got to go. So again, my husband is Jeremy's in the basement. But this time I call him. I'm like, okay, we need to get ready to go to the emergency room. And then he's like, I'm not feeling good. So at this point, he's in the basement. We have a full bathroom downstairs in the basement. He's in the bathroom downstairs, sick. I'm like, okay, this is now bad, and it's got to be the food. So I'm like, Lord, please don't let me get sick. And most of all, please don't let Janelle get sick. So Deuce is constantly going. You hear Jeremy downstairs in the bathroom going, and all of that stuff. And then my stomach turns, and I'm going and throwing up and throwing up and throwing up. I said, "Oh God!" And no one likes to throw up or be sick anyway. But I've always said that when you're pregnant, it feels 10 times worse. That when you're sick. So I'm going and going and going, going and going. I'm trying to check on Deuce. He's laying on the couch. I'm trying to make sure he's okay. And it was just basically we were up all night trying to get like spurts of sleep. And when we weren't throwing up. I don't know whether Janelle has a stomach of steel, but I just knew that once I got sick that she was right behind me. She never got sick, which I am utterly grateful for. Deuce finally stopped at maybe about like 3:30 in the morning. And he was finally able to get some sleep. And then, but at this point, I'm still going. And Jeremy is still going in the basement. So we wake up the next morning. Well, I don't even know if you can essentially say wake up. It's the next morning at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And I feel so dehydrated and drained that I can barely like get off of the couch to go to the bathroom. I was trying to take like little small sips of water. It was so bad that I couldn't even keep water down. So at this point, let me backtrack. So then I called Deuce's pediatrician's office, the kid's pediatrician office, and had the doctor on call page. And she was basically like, unless there was a fever or there was like blood, or anything like that in his vomit, that it would basically be a waste of time to come to the emergency room because we'd be sitting there for 8 hours just for them to possibly maybe give him an IV, and be giving him Pediasure and, Pedialyte and all of that stuff in the emergency room. So she was just like, it's got to run its course. She was like, but if anything changes, fever, blood, anything like that, then you guys come in. So then at this point, it's like I said, it's 7 o'clock in the morning with me. I'm not even holding water down. So I called my OB's office and I speak to the OB that's on call. And I was most worried about having to sit in the because at this point, like I said, I can barely move. So I'm worried about sitting in the emergency room for 8 hours because I'm going to need fluids. So I called and spoke to the OB, and she said, the good thing is the rule changed. See, beforehand, you used to only be able to go over to like the labor and delivery side if you were past 24 weeks, because 24 weeks is considered what they call a viable pregnancy. So anything before 24 weeks, they've always told you to go to the emergency room. Well, when I called and spoke to the OB on call, she said, oh, the rules recently changed. Now it's 20 weeks that you can come over here. So I was grateful because I had just made 20 weeks like 4 days prior. And she said, if you don't get any better, she was basically saying the same thing that Deuce's doctor said, it's got to run its course. But she was like, with me, I had to be more careful. She was like, if it's to the point where I feel like I'm going to faint or I'm dizzy, same thing, the blood in the vomit, the fever, anything like that, I need to come in and I need to be hooked up to immediate fluids and nausea meds and all of that stuff. In the meantime, she sent a prescription in for this medicine called Zofran, and it's basically like this little dissolvable pill that goes under your tongue that they give pregnant women to help with like extreme nausea and vomiting. So she sent that prescription in, and she was like, if later on this afternoon, early evening, you still not, holding liquids down or anything like that, you need to come in. So we had Gatorade. We had a little bit of Gatorade here. I started drinking Gatorade, and I actually held that down, but I was just so drained. And shout out to Veronica. I'm telling y'all, she is my saving grace. She went to Target and picked up my prescription, and then I had an order with like crackers and more Gatorade and Pedialyte and more disinfectant wipes and all of that stuff, because I knew whenever I felt better, we were going to have to try to do the brat diet and get ourselves together. So, that Sunday we were like out of commission. Like everybody was in here was just like half dead. I felt so bad for Janelle, because Janelle's looking like, the hell is going on with y'all? I'm perfectly fine. I'm ready to play and run around and this, that, left, and the third. And she couldn't do that. She basically had to stay in her room because we were all so drained. Like, we pretty much slept the whole day. Eventually, just drinking water, Gatorade, and then eventually later that evening, we started eating like applesauce and chicken broth and stuff like that. When I tell you, I was so scared to like start eating regular food. I didn't get back to a regular diet until like Wednesday. Like that, I had to call off that Monday. It was a holiday for Jeremy and the kids. The daycare was closed because of the holiday, and Jeremy was off because of the holiday. My job is the only one that don't believe in holidays. So I called off, and we used Monday as like a kind of get ourselves back together day, and, doing the brat diet and, all of that stuff. And then Tuesday, when I went back to work, man, I was so scared to eat. Like, I had some potato soup, and I brought like a ton of water and Gatorade and stuff like that. I was pretty much eating like broth and soups for like days. And then finally on Wednesday, I had a salad, and it had like grilled chicken in it. But I was so spooked. Like, I just did not want that feeling again of ever being that sick again. But all is well. We are back to normal. We will not be patronizing that Wendy's anymore. It's not too far from our house. We will be very limited and mindful of what fast food we eat for a while. When I finally got my strength back up, I went and did a very huge grocery shopping. I know it's a lot of days that I'm tired and I'm drained, and, we come in and, you just want something quick and not have to worry about it taking forever to cook and all of that stuff. But when you have an experience like that, you don't want to go through that again. So, but yes, all is well. Wendy's tried to take us out, but it didn't. I am now 21 weeks, so I am at the halfway mark. Feeling the baby move now, and just glad that everything is okay, that I didn't have to go in to be seen for fluids or anything like that. And then I have an appointment in a few weeks, just a regular monthly appointment. And then I do have to get a repeat ultrasound, because let me tell you, I was so irritated. The last appointment was my big, huge appointment, and I had what's called the anatomy scan, and then my regular monthly appointment. And with the anatomy scan, you're in there for like an hour, if not more, and they're they're taking measurements of like the limbs and the brain and the heart and just everything, kidneys, everything you name it. They're taking measurements and making sure that everything is developing correctly. And I kept asking the technician, when she was about finished, did she get all of the images and measurements that she needed? And she said, yeah, I got everything. Everything is perfect. Everything is good. And the reason why I asked her was because with Deuce and Janelle, both of them, the exact same thing, were stubborn. They would keep their hands and their arms like this against their chest so that the technician could not get proper measurements and pictures of their heart. So I always had to go back for like a follow-up ultrasound with them. But these were like specialized ultrasounds. These were like cardiac, like peds cardiac ultrasounds, where they only looked at the heart to make sure that, they didn't suspect anything was like wrong with their hearts. But because it was covered up, they couldn't get the proper images. So like a few days later, after having this ultrasound, I get a notification from my portal, my hospital portal, and it's basically the report from the ultrasound. And, it's going through all of the details and the measurements and what gestational age everything is measuring at and all of that stuff. And then it says at the bottom, some images were not obtained. Recommend to follow up with another ultrasound in 3 to 4 months to get those images. So now I'm pissed because I asked you, did you get all of these images? Because I wanted to eliminate having to get another ultrasound. One, that is another bill that has to be sent to my insurance company to the time. So I sent a message to my doctor, like, hey, this technician promised me that she got all of the images. Now this report is saying something different. So the nurse responded back and she was like, oh, sorry, your doctor's on vacation this week, but I'm going to go ahead and put the order in for the follow-up ultrasound because I don't want to delay anything waiting on the doctor to get back. So I'm irritated, but I'm like, fine, whatever. So I called to schedule this ultrasound and I'm like, okay, 3 to 4 weeks is right when my next appointment is. I'll call and get it scheduled right before my monthly appointment. That way I don't have to make an extra trip up there. I call scheduling. They're like, nope, we don't have any openings that day. We've got one opening like the week before, and then the rest are, after the date that you're looking for. So now I'm really mad because it is hard to get off work, whether it's to come in late or leave early. And I've already got my time planned, with the monthly appointment. So I try to have everything together. So I contacted ultrasound. I said, well, you all need to squeeze me in because it's not my fault that you all lied and said that you got all of these images and now you're saying otherwise. So they were able to squeeze me in the same day. They're going to squeeze me in the same day. But I'll have a little bit of a wait in between. I think my ultrasound is at like 2:30, and because they only have to get a few images, I should be done by 2:45, no later than 3 o'clock. But then my appointment is not until 4:30 because I always take her latest appointment possible. So that's like the least amount of work that I have to miss. So I guess I'll find something to do to keep me entertained while I wait in between appointments. But yep, that's what's going on. Like I said, grateful that we are on the other side of that food poisoning saga, and glad that everything is going well with the baby. Like I said, I can feel him kicking now every day. And, for a while, even when I first started like eating again, my appetite was very low. My energy was still very low, so I'm really starting to feel like myself a little bit. So yeah, I just wanted to make a vlog to let you know about, like I said, the saga with Wendy's, and then also a quick little baby update. Got some more vlogs coming out next week with some exciting stuff that's coming up. Um, I've got a pantry vlog that I have been meaning to put up for forever. And Etna will be here next weekend. Super excited about that. So you're going to see all the vlogs and the shenanigans when she comes here and we act a fool. We're going to the New Edition concert. So you will be able to see clips of that. And then the weekend will end with Miss Janelle turning 2 years old, her second birthday. God, this time has gone by so fast, and you will see all of the prep and all of that stuff and the actual celebration of her birthday. So thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a little bit since a vlog. So like I said, I want to jump in and say hi. And thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next vlog. Bye.